Hi everybody, hope you're doing marvellously well. Hopefully it's not too windy. Well, it is windy, but hopefully it's not picking it up. We're here, the powerhouse, otherwise known as Metropolis. Walk this way. So Metropolis is built into a power station designed in Victorian times to power the local trams here in Chiswick. And in fact, the old tram station is still there next door, but now it's buses. In fact, if you look around there, buses! So this was a power station for only 4 years, just 4 years powering the trams. So from what I heard, sorry about the wind, from what I heard is it sat derelict for many, many years. I don't know how many of those kind of 100 years it was derelict, but it was bought and turned into Metropolis in 1989, I think they opened. And it's grown, it's gone from strength to strength. What makes them remarkable is they were ahead of the curve. Early on, before anybody else, like in the early 90s, they built a lot of production suites. So they have huge live tracking rooms, they have all the things you'd expect from a studio, but they have a lot of production suites, which was a really forward-thinking thing to do because people will come in there and do long-term bookings, meaning you can get your bills paid. Now, for a lot of studios, they've got 2 or 3 like big tracking rooms and they've got to try and keep them busy all the time. Having small production suites means you've got an income, base income the whole time. And it's a wonderful studio. You're really going to enjoy this. We're going to go and see Mr. Paul Norris. Paul Norris is the staff engineer. He's going to show us around the studio, and also we're going to sit down and have an interview with him and a couple of other lovely people as well. And so without further ado, let's go and see Mr. Paul Norris. Walk this way. This is the bus station. It used to be the tram station. Paul, how the devil are you?
Warren. How you doing?
Good, good. Good to see you.
Oh, it's very bright here.
Well,
Welcome to Metropolis. Studio C.
oh, what a lovely view.
It's nice to have daylight and a window.
Yeah.
So yeah, we had a Neve VR in here for a long time.
Yep.
So Tom Elmhurst was based in here for many years.
Oh, wow.
So Amy Winehouse records he did in here, the first couple of Adele records he mixed in here, as well as everything else he did in that.
On a Neve?
On the Neve VR, yeah.
Right.
And that had been in here, I believe, since Metropolis opened in '89. And so it reached the end of its life. It became a little bit hard to maintain to the standard
I
that we wanted.
worked here in the mid-90s and I don't remember what room I was in. I'll probably recognise it. I remember it had a good view.
So probably Studio E, which now faces the other way to it used to.
Okay.
It's still a window, but it doesn't look out of the window anymore.
Oh, okay.
Because they made it a 5.1 room, so they turned the room around to put 5.1 in there.
Oh, okay.
The VR had to go, and so we put in a G series that we customised and put producer panel in the middle. Prism ADA 128 in here.
Lovely.
New converters, and then we built our little synth rack because we found less people are booking rooms to mix in. Everyone's got their own space to mix in generally.
Their own headphones to mix on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We sort of had to repurpose this from what had been essentially a mix room and an overdub room to make it more of a production room and a writing suite. So sort of a fancy writing room. So there is a booth through
Separate
the back
booth
here
in
as
here.
well, yeah.
Yeah. Love that. Look at that piano.
A couple of the cheap microphones up.
The session that's about to come in here in a few minutes is a vocal session, I presume.
It would look like that.
It would look like that, yeah.
I mean, I have recorded drums in here as well. You can get a reasonable drum sound in here. If you take out all the baffles and stuff. Not the ideal room in the building, but
yeah, but it's also nice to have a
done.
small, tight drum sound as well.
Inflow worked in here with Adele on her most recent record as well.
Yeah.
And they had the Leslie set up in here and the drum kit set up at the back of the room, and yeah, it was quite a setup.
Beautiful. And is that piano in here all the time?
That stays in here, yeah. There's another. We've got grand pianos in both rooms downstairs and another upright
What
that
is
we can
it?
move. Do you know what? I don't even know. It's
it's dark.
It sounds really nice with the felts on.
The felts are on, yeah. That's gorgeous. Oh, that's so love. I don't know if the little mic is going to pick it up, but that is absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, it's
Wow.
lovely to have something set up in the room when people are writing to just be able to sit down and start playing.
And a pair of Sontronic small diaphragms there. Lovely. Oh yeah, I love it with the felts. That's inspiring. Yeah, it is great to have instruments around, like somebody's got an idea and they can just put it down or they can
Yeah,
showcase
just sit down. And then, I mean, all this stuff as well, all the synth rack is all connected via MIDI to the rig, so you can control all the synths from the desk if you want to, or set up a...
I am partial to the purple. The purple is gorgeous.
We've refabricated most of the room, but this one, the last to be done, and it will be staying purple.
Good.
Yeah, very nice. And tape machine in there that occasionally, very occasionally gets rolled out.
Oh, the MTR, lovely.
It was actually the last thing we used tape for was the Teskey Brothers, do you know them, the band? From Australia, and they did a live show that was recorded all to tape.
Oh, I think I do. I think they recorded at Hansa as well. Yes, I know.
Yeah, so it was recorded all
great.
to tape. They took our tape machines to, I think it was the Hammersmith Apollo. So
wow.
They took the tape machines there, recorded it to tape, and then mixed it in here from the tape to tape. Wow. This got the Tangerine automation system, so they use that for...
Ah, okay. I thought about getting that on my old SSL. So do you like it? Have you used it yourself?
I mean, I've moved mostly mixing in the box because I just don't have the... when I'm mixing, I end up getting moved around rooms depending on what sessions happen. So when changes need making, I just found that I needed to be in the box. I do like the Tangerine. I mean, I taught myself to mix on the G series downstairs on the old computer. That was what I learnt to actually mix on. So I do miss mixing on the desk, and I think the Tangerine is a good system, like an upgrade on the old system. It takes a little bit of getting your head around because it's not go-to and all that stuff. But
it's really good for people that already know SSLs because you use the same commands. But if you wanted to buy an SSL with a Tangerine and you've never used an SSL before, you might say, why do I need to know these old commands?
Yeah, I mean, it works really well with Pro Tools though, so you can do a lot of it just by sticking it in Automate and just running it in Pro Tools. But I think the level of automation that people want to do these days, it's hard to do that on any desk.
Yeah.
To get that minute level of automation. So people end up doing like a 50-50 split anyway. Yeah,
yeah. I still love working hybrid, being able to grab things like this. So here I see, oh wow, you got some Summits. My friend Dave Jordan used to have tons of them. They were fantastic.
Yeah, so these are the EQ-H2, which are similar to the EQP, very similar like bands, but they sound great. Unfortunately, different colours, so you know.
Confuses people. But are they Valve or are they the? Yeah. Because they made very briefly the API ones.
Yeah, no, these. I think these are actually older. I could be wrong though. I'm sure someone on the internet will tell me if I'm wrong.
I'm sure they will. I'm sure there'll be lots of comments. Actually, tell us more about them if you know more about them.
And then the MEQs, so the mid-range EQs.
I rarely see them this small. You know, they're usually that big. They're an extra unit.
We've got MEQs in a couple of the other rooms, and they're all that size, and the EQPs are in the other rooms, are the bigger ones. Bell converter, so if you want a different flavour on your mix conversion, we can do that.
What's the standard converter you use?
Prism, all Prism across everyone.
Amazing, yeah.
Prism compressors, got 2 of them in here at the moment, an Al Smart pair of distressors. And the hardware tends to be pretty similar across all the rooms. So if people are moving projects, it's pretty easy. There's a few things, like there's not a Burl in every room. That's just something that's in here. But
a pair of 160s, some 1176s.
Pair of 1073s.
CL1A.
Yeah, there's not many of them.
No. It's a pair of 1073s you're saying, yeah.
The main difference is that these are point-to-point wired rather than circuit boards. It's exactly the same circuit. These are point-to-point, so they're obviously a lot more labour intensive when they built them, so they changed it. Masalek EQ, the K&H EQ, GML, weird little spring thing. I think Tom Elmhurst actually left that here. So we rack mounted it. Yeah, Bricasti.
Yeah.
AMS.
And then the EMT.
And then the DP4 for if anyone wants to go full Daft Punk on us.
I just remember when that was new, and it was like, oh my God, 4 processors in one box. We thought it was like so incredible.
Yeah, it's one of those things. I mean, I've been here 15 years and I don't think I've seen it used that regularly because people can do so much of that stuff in the box now, but it's amazing. I mean, with the vocoder and all that stuff on it, and then DIMD and an SDE. There's
some standards, Dimension D, yeah, and the SDE as well.
Yeah, and then we've got 4 plates in the basement as well, so.
Are they accessible by every studio?
Yeah, patchable from every... Complicated patching, with running around and patching things in different places, but yeah, patchable from everywhere.
What is this EQ again?
This is a K&H UE400. So it's a bit weird, but it sounds great. Works great on
It looks fantastic.
stereo drums, like overheads, that kind of thing. It's one of those, just one of the things you put it on. It took me a long while to realise what any of it even did, but it just sounds good when you put it on. So it's one of those magic box. An Lexicon in the desk as well.
Oh yeah, I see.
480.
480. Tube, an SPL tube vitalizer.
Yeah.
Nice.
And the desk as well, actually, the 3 mix buses, I probably should have mentioned this. So when you switch the mix buses, so A is the original G-Series mix bus, B actually has the mix bus from the VR that we took out in here.
Oh, okay.
And C is, I believe it's like a custom thing that our tech team built that's like an API flavour.
Right.
So you can decide which mix bus you want to send your mix to.
So that's all customised. And these are 6,000 channels, aren't they?
Yes.
Yeah, so 6,000 channels. Because the 4,000 was quad, wasn't it? Yeah, NS10s and Genelecs.
Yeah, that's standard across all the rooms as well.
When I first started, it was NS10s and Genelecs, but it was the 1031s or 1033s.
Yeah, I mean, we've still got some of them floating about somewhere as well. But yeah, we got the 8351s in every room. A couple of production rooms down here that are on long-term rent, hidden away in the basement. And then we'll go through the tech department, who are all going to run away from the camera. Molly's definitely running, I can see. So yeah,
Cable-tastic.
this is where we send all the broken stuff. Stanley.
We send all the broken stuff.
Yeah, including me.
I'm about to say, like, can I come in, hang out?
Of course, by me.
Oh wow, never seen a purple ATR before.
They were the transformerless ones. Yeah, we sort of we're trying to sort of Frankenstein machines together in order to sort of keep everything running. But
There was that sort of like late 70s obsession, wasn't there, with removing transformers from everything.
Right, you know, cost and weight and all that stuff, you know.
Yeah, we want it to be, you know, more transparent, you know. Now, of course, everything has to have a transformer.
Exactly. Back in
We
it.
need to colour it with the transformer.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, I've never seen one. Nice to meet you.
And you. Have a lovely day.
Thank you.
The remnants of the Neve from Studio C here, that one day Rich will have the time to build into a sidecar for me. One day.
Keep threatening.
Where's the rest of the console? Did you sell it?
I don't even know where it ended up, to be honest. It was sort of sold, but it may come back again, but it's not much use because we took all the good parts out of it.
Ah, I see.
Yeah, it went to be more of a museum piece than anything else.
Right.
But yeah.
Lovely. Amptastic drums.
Yeah, so we've got a sort of range of kit, Slingerland kit there,
Yep.
and then we've got a Yamaha recording custom.
Yep.
And a Tama, and then a Ludwig Hollywood, I think it's called. Different sort of flavours for different days.
Nice. So Paul said I could take the 1608 home, so we're just going to load it up in the car afterwards.
I'll give you a hand, yeah?
Okay, good, thanks.
Studio A, SSL J series in here. Gets a lot of use. We'll roll the API in. Similar outboard.
Yeah.
Just the old Fairchild there, which gets moved between rooms depending on what's happening.
670 is in pretty mint condition.
It is in very good condition. Do you know Analogue Tube?
No.
Who they make Fairchild clones, but point to point exactly as they are. Simon Saywood started that company, and he used to be the tech
It's in
here.
Britain?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
He was the tech here for a long time. He's at Dean Street now.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, he builds them. But he found this in the basement here in pieces.
Wow.
And rebuilt it.
But this place didn't start till 89.
Yeah, but it had been, someone had bought it here when they opened and just dumped it in the basement. And yeah, he brought it back to life.
I mean, I started, when I was 16, I first started recording. We loved Beatles albums and stuff like that, but everybody wanted SSLs. Everybody wanted the latest and greatest. Everybody was looking forward to where digital technology was going to take us, you know. Little do we know that where it would go. But this kind of things, you know, were great, from getting the retro Beatles sound. But
yeah.
Yeah, there was just a period. I remember when I bought my first pair of 1272s from Brent Averill. I think it was in 2000. I want to say it was £700 for a pair of them. That's like a quarter of the price of one of them now. Yeah. So the whole market's changed.
I mean, they occasionally see these pop up for $250,000, and you think,
yeah,
we could do quite a lot with £250,000.
Yeah.
But it's lovely. It's one of those things as well that artists and producers love because of what it is. It doesn't, I mean, it does sound great, but that's not as much as sometimes you tell the singer your vocals going through the Fairchild, and they know what that means historically and in an audio perspective, and it gives them that extra confidence boost.
So you're saying a pair of 1073s, the CL1A, 1176s, obviously. The 165, love those with variable attack and release. Although I do honestly end up just putting it in most of the time and using it on auto like a 160. The Past again, that's very cool.
They're great sounding mic pre's. This is the power supply for these.
Oh, I see.
For the phantom switches on the...
Okay, that's cool. You sure he wasn't taking like old ones and just rebranding them and just souping them up?
Yeah.
That's what it looks like, because all the switches look the same.
But yeah, I've never seen them anywhere else. Or even, and if you Google it, it doesn't really come up. But maybe someone on the internet will know more than me.
Please tell us what you know down below. Pair of distressors, another Verimu, and then more Prism. Now that C2 Alan Smart. Yeah,
and there's normally a 2254 down there as well, but that is currently with the tech department.
I do love the fact that you have a lot of the Summit stuff.
Yeah, well, a lot of these, so these Summit EQs, a lot of them were in the mastering department, and they had multiples of everything.
I see.
And they're just they're great EQs, and it's one of those things you don't really have to do a lot. You just turn it on and do that, and then it sounds better.
They're compressors. I don't remember which one it is, but the one that's also 2U.
TLA 100?
Yeah.
We've got a TLA 50 upstairs, I think. Is it TLA? Something like that.
I mean, you literally can just smash it like this.
Yeah.
And you don't hear it. You hear what it does, but you don't hear that choke sound. They are so good sounding. Really, really good. And I think like a CL1A or B, the attack time is so unbelievably fast that you don't get one of those horrible spiky.
Yeah.
You don't get that, you know. Yeah, massively underrated. Well, probably not. Lots of people are watching this going, shut up, Warren. We all know they're amazing. And yeah. Somebody should bring them back. I know they got bought by, I think they get bought by Blue or something.
Okay.
Something like that. Answers on a postcard, please. That's for the Blue Peter fans. It's a lovely console. Without
our wonderful tech team, it wouldn't be so great. It takes a lot of maintenance. All these desks take a lot of maintenance. I mean, this is 94, 95, I think.
Well.
I mean, there was one of the Focusrite consoles in here a long time ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So originally, I think it was upstairs and they moved it in here.
Yep.
But that went, and then I think it got cut into pieces. Oh,
so you've got the huge Suffolk-mounted Genelecs?
Yeah, and these are the newer ones, but the room was designed around Genelecs in the 80s. So the Metropolis and Genelec have been since day one, really.
Amazing.
So the original Genelecs were in there. We just swapped them out for slightly newer ones.
So I see you've got some of the same things. Oh, I do love having a SansAmp rack mount. I just do.
Yeah, it's great, and we do a lot of stuff in here that's like live stuff as well. So we do live to vinyl sessions. So we'll have a band playing in here and go up to mastering. So having things like the SansAmp for, like the Chad Blake thing as well, and having that ready to go is really helpful, as well as just being able to. We've got a Kemper in the back, so sometimes guitarists use that, but sometimes you're in a push, you just plug the bass in and off you go.
More Pultecs.
More Pultecs. EQP1As and some of the MEQ mid-range EQs.
Really fantastic, yeah. Is that another Masalek? Yeah.
Another Masalek, yeah.
And a GML. And of course the Neve. Cool, let's check out the live room.
Go this way.
Fazioli.
Fazioli, yes.
Wow. Oh, this is a live room.
This is live, yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've got plenty of carpet stored for changing that a little bit, getting it however it's needed to be. So the Fazioli is the one that's been modelled by Waves Factory, and Waves have both got plug-in versions of that.
So this is like the Pass was in LA, where they have a lounge area overlooking it.
That's the lounge up there.
I used to love it as an engineer, because the band could go out and hang out there. You could be actually working on all the rhythm tracks down below, and then the rest of it would be hanging out there, rather than standing behind you go, what's that? How do you do? We love musicians.
And it's got tie lines as well, so you can record up there if you want, if someone wants to sit on the sofa up there and record their vocals.
Well, this feels like its own studio.
Yeah.
Like a studio within a studio.
And all the rooms have got that thing where it's like there's a privacy element to it, but you at the same time you go up to the bar and get a cafe and you meet Carla, whoever you bump into, people you know, or So it's nice to have that, but at the same time, just shut the doors and you're in your own world.
Yeah, this is wonderful.
Daylight.
Great room.
Stuff. So yeah, and there's a stone room through here.
Great.
It was the 80s when it was built, so.
Yeah, but.
You've got this lovely stone room. I mean, got all the baffles and stuff in here, so it's not quite as reverberant as it is, but you get a great drum sound in here if you've got a great drummer. You get a very cymbal sound in here if you've not got a great drummer.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Oh, this is great.
And good lines of sight, or reasonably good lines of sight for everything, and cable cover through there with tie lines for locking amps away and stuff as well. So it's all.
I've got to play the piano. Just want to hear what it sounds like in the room. Oh, it's nice. It's a really beautiful piano.
It's lovely.
Yeah.
And it records really well as well. It's just, it's one of those pianos you just stick the mics in and.
It's very well matched with the room. Like you were saying with the C7, the other room, it was a kind of fairly, it wasn't that bright of it as a Yamaha, but a fairly bright piano in a fairly bright room, which actually is probably really good for like pop stuff, to be honest. This seems to like emphasize all the goodness.
Well, this really helps, this wooden bit. So like, depending on where you put the piano in the room, you can get quite a lot of difference. It's same with drums. So, yeah. I mean, often put drum kit here and fire it out into the room.
I'd probably do the same. I'd probably want the kit here facing into the room.
Yeah, that's a really, and you can, depending on where you put carpets and room mics, you can get such varied sounds with that. Sometimes people will put it in front of this blue wall if they want, it's not blue anymore, it's grey. It used to be blue. I still call it that. But yeah, they used to put it here and you get, you can hear just by talking, it's a deader sound here.
Can we go up to the lounge?
Yes, of course, yeah.
How do you can get to it?
We can go through so we go through here.
So different acoustically when you walk out, you hear it. Yeah. It's a great thing about studios, when you move from like really heavily treated to really ambient to, you don't think about that in life when you're walking around, but in the studios they can have such massive variety in acoustics. Yeah, I like this. So
yeah, the lovely view down.
Yeah, band can be watching TV, playing video games, and then check in and feel like they're part of the recording. And they're not tapping you on the shoulder asking you questions.
And we can tie up from downstairs as well, though, so you can have the mix block coming out of the
nice
hi-fi system in here if they want.
That's so good.
Or keep them singing and
have
it recorded downstairs. A little kitchen around the corner for them as well. If people, depending on how long the session's going to be. It's just on there, the light switch that side.
Nice.
So yeah, I mean, people make themselves at home if they're in for a long time.
Now after drummer's finished tracking, he's probably sleeping on the couch there.
This is Studio B.
Lovely. By the way, what? That's awesome.
I do occasionally get people trying to record out here, but it's
yeah, there's gonna be a lot of ambient noise, but it must be pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a nice space if you in the middle of the night.
In the middle of the night.
Setting up a big reverb chamber.
I mean, are you open 24 hours because you've got people with their own rooms?
Someone on reception 24 hours, and yeah, studios can be booked whenever. So.
And you've got production suites. So,
yeah.
This is beautiful.
Yeah, Studio B.
Absolutely beautiful.
You've got a G Series 4000 with the old computer in here. The original computer occasionally gets used. Some people still really like using that mix system. So 56 channels, and then 8 stereo channels. But
being mixed in the box at the moment?
Yep, a lot of stuff tends to be that way. The consoles get used a lot for front end.
This is a constant conversation we've been having about, the albums that we consider some of the greatest ever made were also tracked on SSLs.
Yeah.
All of the Peter Gabriel stuff and all recorded on SSL consoles as well as mixed on them.
Yeah, and I mean, the mic pre's on this sound great. I love working on this desk for recording as well.
Wonderful.
But we've also got all the other flavours we can bring in, like the API gets rolled in here if someone wants that, and we've got racks of other stuff available to bring in hidden away in the basement. Similar sort of stuff to we saw up in Studio E really. So the Neve CL1A, some 1176s and some distressors. These are past mic pre's. These are very early Neve clones before. So we've been told is that Past was an employee of Neve who left and started making these. I think they're 31105 sort of things. And there was
they even look like the knobs. They even look like
there was a cease and desist.
Ah.
Which obviously people don't do as much anymore. But yeah, so you don't see it. I've not seen them anywhere else other than here in Studio A. And we've got a Focusrite Isomic Pres, another Al Smart, Manley Varimu, and the new 2254s.
Yeah, great pair of. You say 1073, CL1s, pair of 76s, and the obligatory distressors. Yeah, wonderful.
Yeah, and there's a little bit more over there, more Pultecs, big Pultecs, EQ1A I believe they are. EQ1A, EQP1, oh it's an EQP1, not 1A. Some of the digital effects stuff, which still occasionally gets used, but
you'd probably be printing it so you can recall anywhere, yeah.
Yeah. The main monitors in here as well, the Genelec.
I know these.
1236s. We had to actually put the ceiling up to fit them in here because they were too big. Should we go and look at the live room?
Yes, please.
Well, it's hidden away there for when it's needed. Another upright piano.
With the felts up again.
And then Yamaha grand piano in here.
Is that a C9 or a C7?
C7.
Yeah, C7.
Lovely, nice piano in here. It's quite a bright room. Some people worry that Yamaha might be too bright for the room, but it works really well in here.
Yeah, it's nice.
This is one of my favourite rooms just because of you've got line of sight from here to the sofa in the lounge. Yeah. So it's a really nice space to work, but and then you can shut the doors for in the control room if you want to close it off.
I mean, I love this. Yeah.
And then sort of different, it sounds quite dead in this booth compared to the live room. So it's a really nice place to put a drum kit.
Yeah, I hear you talking and I hear all the reverberation.
Yeah, so you put the drum kit in here and you've got the tightness and then you stick your room mics out there and it's...
Well, snares love high ceilings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're lucky to still have our high ceilings and lots of line of sight and reasonable light. This is the only studio in the building without natural daylight.
So, Signor Paul.
Mic cupboards.
Mic cupboard.
So we've got some Lewitt mics. So we do a lot of like live events as well. So we have this is a handheld condenser mic. It's really good, MTP 940. Sony C100s as well, which are lovely.
Yeah.
Very nice. Incredibly hi-fi. So they're great on piano if you want that really hi-fi sound. They can be the opposite direction though, that they're sometimes a bit too nice.
Right,
a bit too hi-fi. And then in here we got some Sony, these are pencil mics, Sony pencil mics, EC-M100s, so we've got the omnidirectional ones and the cardioid ones.
Great. What do you like to use those on?
A lot of the times I use the omnis on rooms if we're doing a string session.
Yeah. Or
piano out mics are really good for. Same with the cardioid acoustic guitar. If you need like really detailed finger picking, that sort of stuff, they're great for that. And then these are the Josephson E22s.
Oh yes, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
These are very popular.
They're very good. They sound great on snares and toms, and
I know they're very directional, so people love them on toms, don't they? Because they don't pick up any cymbal bleed at all, barely.
KM184s, a few pairs of those. So if we've got a big string session, we can put them on all the violins. We'll have Neumanns on them. KM184s. We've got some KM84s in a different drawer, some old ones, some vintage ones. Some more Lewitt live mics. A couple of Sennheiser live mics in there as well. Lots of different headphones. Sony, these get used a lot. The MDR 7506.
Oh yes.
And then I don't know what's in there. Some Beats, because we had some people want Beats.
Are these some DT100s? I don't know.
We've got a cupboard full of DT100s in all the studios.
Oh, you do good.
But they don't get used that much anymore. People don't really like them as much.
Yeah, I mean, we always thought they were mid-range boxes anyway, but when everybody was on NS10s, it felt like you were getting screamed at by a pair of NS10s strapped to your head.
So then we've got some ribbon mics in here. We've got our Royers.
Lovely.
122. Oh, that one's missing its bag. The R88, the stereo. which is
Much loved, yes. There it is.
very nice. I love that in front of a drum kit or over a drum kit.
Lovely.
Um,
Great stereo room mic and overheads, yeah.
and we've got some Coles in there as well, 4038s, well used on drums and overheads. Great on brass as well, obviously.
What's hiding in this?
That chest there is a periscope.
Oh, yeah, the periscope mic.
Built-in compressor.
Yeah. Are they still going?
I've no idea.
Yeah, I went to their webpage and it was down. Hopefully it's back up again. People love these.
They're pretty mad.
Yeah.
But I mean, we use them a lot on drums, but they're also great on piano as like a room mic to bring out some sustain and weirdness.
Yeah.
Neumann draw. So U47s, the FET ones, we've got some valve ones as well, and some 87s, Sanken and Aston in there as well. 414s and TLM 170s.
Lovely.
And some being used somewhere else, obviously. The pencil condensers. So 451s. That's a B&K 4007 Omni mic.
Lovely. This is 441.
Yeah. Pair of shirts, CMC5.
Lovely.
We've got some other capsules for those there as well, so we could put them in Omni or Cardioid. And Sennheiser MKH40s, small diaphragms.
Yeah.
So we've got a few of them. Really nice on piano, on string stuff. And then these are MKH 8000s, which are very similar but small.
You've got enough mics to cover big string sessions and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, and then that's drumsticks and plectrums and...
What we got hiding the last two here?
Bunch of Focusrite interfaces, because everyone turns up with their laptop and wants to plug them in, and that works much better than having an aux cable. And these also now work with your phone if you've got USB-C. So you can have your phone plugged into this instead of into a silly mini jack cable.
Ah, okay.
Which is very useful for when people, I just want to show you this. And then you haven't got to run around finding the right adapter. So they're plugged straight into those. Austrian Audio 818s. I love these. These are great on...
Yeah.
Thin.
I like, we have a pair we like as well. And Stephen Wilson uses them permanently in his room just to have
just
mics.
Everything.
Yeah, everything. If he wants to put some cougars down or whatever, boom, the mics are just on, just turn them up. Yeah, it seems like a great idea.
These are great as, overheads and guitar and vocals. Wonderful. I really like those. SM7s and some things. Some RE20s. M88.
I know, this is the Phil Collins mic, isn't it? But with a silver. Yeah, wonderful.
58s.
The obligatory 58s.
And 57s.
Even more obligatory 57s.
Beta 57s. Old Beta 57A. That was originally the Listen mic.
Yeah, it's the Prologue. It was like the entry level Shure mic. Yeah.
But yeah, that was in the ceiling at some point, but it's been taken down. There's some PZM mics in there as well.
Oh, we got some Avalon DIs.
And the Neve.
Oh, your Neve ones. I have one of these.
I
lovely.
love those. Crybaby. I don't know where that's come from, but we'll take it. Radial systems for patching through guitars from different booths.
Other kick mics.
Yes, so a variety of different kick drum mics.
Just got to look at this because, I mean, it's slightly oversized cricket ball, yeah?
Yeah.
I've used this. This is fun. Dual capsule. You've got a condenser and a dynamic. You can blend the two.
Beta 52, the standard. The Beta 91, whole draw for AKG kick mic. So we've got
an original one.
Original one of those, D12.
Then the vintage reissue, the VR.
One, and that's the D25. That sounds great. The biggest problem is actually positioning it because it's in this silly cradle, but that's great. And then the Z112s, 421s. Got a few of those. More 421s and some 509s.
Wonderful.
441s. They sound great on, again, pretty much everything. But
great mids. Really good mids.
And then some more DI boxes, some cloud lifters.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that is...
You got it covered.
That's it.
Orchestras are us. Oh, so this is the Victorian staircase you were talking about.
So yeah, we've got some offices there, and then Studio X is down there. I think we can't get in there because the clients are working in there. And then Bill and Ted are some producers, and they're based in this room here. And then
when was it originally built? The building?
Victorian age, sometime the end of the 1800s.
Oh wow, look at this.
Yeah, so it was a power station. The bus garage next door that you drove in was the tram station. So this was the power station for the tram line.
Wow.
For 4 years. They built this whole thing and ran it for 4 years at the power station.
Only ran it for 4 years?
Yep.
And then what happened to it?
Just decommissioned, sat empty till, I believe it just sat empty till the 80s when Metropolis was built. I might be wrong though. But yeah, that's my understanding, is that nothing happened until the 80s.
Beautiful, absolutely beautiful building, yeah. All right, where are we going?
We go through here to the Atmos room. They've got another production room there that Spotify rent out from us. Do a lot of writing sessions in there to try and make writers like them. And then this is our Atmos room. And it's Mike Hillier.
Hey Mike, how are you?
Nice to meet you.
Good to meet you too. Are you basically camped out here doing Atmos all the time?
I'm
or?
about half my time in this room and half upstairs in a stereo mastering suite.
So I see it's all decked out with Neumanns.
Yes, this is 11.1.8, all Neumanns. Yeah, and then 2 floor speakers additionally for Sony 360 should we require that. So we're fitted out for any potential format.
How much Atmos versus 360 you
It's
getting?
almost all Atmos.
Right.
A few years ago, 360 was still kind of a concern and it's dropped off. I think Amazon's dropped support for it completely.
Oh, I see.
Tidal, I believe, still supports it, or it could be the other way around. But yeah, I don't get asked for it anymore. It's all Atmos. But I'm expecting to start seeing maybe some of the Google and Samsung format that was launched not that long ago.
And that's a open source thing, isn't it?
It is. They are saying at the moment that it's not really focusing on music, but I'm expecting maybe YouTube to be the kind of place where that lands, and YouTube Music is massive.
It is, absolutely. It's the #1 place that people listen to
It
music.
is, yeah. As far as I'm aware. Yeah.
Yeah, everybody's like having this fight over Spotify and Tidal, and what we really need to realise is that most of the music is being listened to on YouTube.
Yeah, so I think if that launches with the Samsung Google format, then we're going to have to. It's going to be inevitable. And so yeah, I've got the tools. We're set up for it.
What are you working on at the moment?
I was going to be working on a project, but actually the stems, they arrived, but they weren't in a fit manner for me to get stuck in. So I'm going to be going back upstairs to do some stereo work shortly.
Are you getting always stems? Are you getting...
So most of what I get is stems. I occasionally get multi-tracks. When it's multi-tracks, it's normally archival work, so it's something that's come off tape, and stems just don't exist for that project. For contemporary music, it's almost always stems, and as a rule, they must match the stereo master that's been approved. And in this case, they didn't. There was missing parts.
I see.
So we've just gone back and we're like, can we have the missing bits, please?
Hopefully they exist. Was it an archival thing?
No, this is a brand new,
I
it's part of a new album, so they will exist. It's just they've gone missing during this. Stem bouncing it's the inevitable kind of problem part, and it's so easy to miss something, you know, with how things are bossed and grouped. If one thing is not part of your drums boss but goes somewhere else, you might not bounce it as part of your drums, but you might not think to bounce it separately. And it's the first thing we check when new stems arrive is, do these match? And it's the most common reason as to why your Atmos isn't getting done the day you hoped it would get done.
The one I always used to get when people were bouncing out of tracks is they would have a monitor, 1 and 2, and then maybe 3 and 4 was their print.
Yeah.
So they'd be listening to everything, but they'd only be printing 90% of
Yeah.
it. But they're hearing it while it's going down, thinking everything's great. Yeah, this is great.
I guess it's just part and parcel of the Pro Tools being so adaptable, and you know, you can set it up in so many different ways and work in really powerful, creative ways.
Sure.
But that also brings with it pitfalls.
You said this was 11?
11.1.8, yes. So 11 on the kind of ear level plane. 1 is the subwoofer, and then 8 above.
8 above?
Yeah. At the time of us speccing this room, that was the highest you could build Atmos to.
Pretty high.
It's the most speakers in a room I've ever been in.
It's a good sized room, but it's not like the Royal Albert Hall.
No, and it sounds really nice.
Can I hear something in it?
Of course you can, yeah.
Yeah. Proof of the pudding is in the eating. Holy 2K on that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is there a lot of the characteristics of the speakers that brings that 2K so far forward?
Definitely. Yeah, it's definitely a thing with and we have, there's 2K was a problem and 800 was quite a problem when we first moved in. We've kind of tamed it a little bit.
Yeah, I don't think the 800.
Everything's kind of like tamed to my liking at this point, yeah.
It was only really the snare that 2K was so massively prevalent on. But I love the movement. It was absolutely superb. It's fun when you get to hear like legacy stuff that's remixed in Atmos, but when it's music that has no kind of barrier, there's no like way it's supposed to be, there's no preconceived ideas, that can be a lot of fun. And the movement makes more sense then, you know.
Yeah, I mean, my kind of attitude to Atmos in general is that whatever you're doing has to just make sense for the song, and movement can work in some stages, but it doesn't have to. You can place things, and I've done plenty of mixes where there's nothing that moves. Yeah. It's just that goes there, and you're done. It's right. The song calls for that simpler approach.
Were the delays, were like the triplet, were they built into the mix?
They were, yeah. No, I've not added any new parts and new effects or anything.
So they printed the stems with the delays on
Yes.
it. I see. Yeah, I love all that stuff. How did you end up here?
So I started out at Music Tech magazine as their kind of in-house staff writer. Worked my way up slowly there, became the Pro Tools editor, reviews editor at one point, and doing a lot of that work and applying for every studio in London. And one day Metropolis phoned up and said,
oh, so this was the first like proper studio?
Yeah, the first place that I got, well, I'd had a couple of interviews but never got anywhere further. And Metropolis phoned and offered me a job on night reception, but I had to start the same day. And at the time I was in Liverpool. So I jumped on a 3.5-hour train with nowhere to sleep in London. And yeah, the rest is kind of history. I stayed here for about 5 years after that.
Just sleep behind the reception?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, quite a lot actually.
Yeah.
Did a few years in night reception, worked my way up to being an assistant to the head of the mastering department at the time, and then left in 2010, went freelance for 8 years, and came back in 2018 as a full mastering engineer. And then Atmos happened. I think we all kind of came down the mastering department and we listened to some stuff in here. And I think a few people kind of left the room thinking, no, not so keen, not so sure. And I kind of left the room going, the tech's really cool, just didn't like the mix.
Sure.
Maybe I can do that, but differently, and put more of a focus on the music and less on the tech. Which, I don't blame Dolby for doing that. It's a demo. It should demonstrate the tech more than the music.
Sure. And now, are you busier than a busy thing on National Busy Day?
Yeah, Mr. Busy. Yeah.
Yeah. Great.
It's changed not just down here, but because I've been busy down here.
Yep.
I'm getting more stereo work as well. Sometimes from the same artists, and some from people who've maybe heard my stuff in Atmos and want to work with me on stereo stuff.
And you're full-time here?
Yes, full-time. Yeah, and have been for quite a long time now.
Excellent. Well, great. Thanks for showing us around.
No worries. Thank you very much.
So sitting here with the rather wonderful Mr. Paul Norris, who has spent a big portion of today showing us around Metropolis. Now, Paul, you are the chief engineer.
I am, yeah.
There's a big sign up there which says whoever's on staff today, and it just says engineer, and there's a photo of you.
That's it. That's all you need to know.
So his name's not Paul, it's just engineer. No, thanks ever so much for showing us around today.
Thanks for coming down.
Correct me if I'm wrong, from what you said, that this was pretty much your first job out of college, yeah?
Yeah, my first job.
Nice.
Some bar work. I did do some real work at some point, but yeah, and did some garden. But yeah, my first job after university. Started here as a runner. 15 years later, I'm chief engineer.
How long was a runner?
About a year of running on and doing different things. And at the time, towards the end of that, they'd started doing a live to vinyl series for Channel 4. So Channel 4 were filming it.
Nice.
But we'd do an entire live to vinyl performance in one day, including setting up for filming. So it was like a 5 a.m. start. So I started to help out on those sessions. And then from there, I got onto other sessions. And then, yeah, about a year until I was fully fledged as an assistant, and then maybe 5 years doing assisting, and then started graduating into engineering.
Assisting here, what were the hours like? Well, just what were the hours like? What did you have to do, I suppose, to get to where you got?
Metropolis is very varied in what we do. So we do everything from string sessions to hip hop, to metal, to opera. So all those sessions, all those people work at different times of the day. So the assisting could be being here at 9 o'clock in the morning and putting out chairs for a string session and being done by 6, or it could be starting at 8 o'clock at night and working till 8 o'clock the next morning. It's really varied.
Was there some days where it was both?
Yeah, I think the longest day I ever did was 48 hours, which was not pleasant. The session finished at 7 and the next session started at 9, so I had to pack down the session from 7, which was weirdly a choir session that had worked overnight. So I had to pack down all the choir stuff and then set up for a mix session the next day and then try not to fall asleep while I wait to do a recall.
I've done those. I think mine were like 36 hours was the longest I did. I'd work all day, all night, and then through the day until the early evening and then go home. But 48 hours, God bless you.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have to do that as much anymore. And I mean, in general, we don't do as much of that anymore. We're much better staffed in terms of numbers of people to cover sessions, and people actually get looked after more than they did when I started, which is nice.
Yeah, but unfortunately, necessity is the mother of invention, isn't it? Sometimes you're just short-staffed and you've got to do what you've got to do.
Yeah, I think no one gets into the recording business with the idea that they're going to do 9 to 5. I don't think anyone really gets in thinking that's what they're going to do or wants to do. I don't think anyone wants to do those hours, really.
I would agree with that, but I wouldn't say wants to do. I would say no one gets it. No one survives the recording, the music business if they think they're going to work 9 to 5. It's not a harsh reality, because I think for so many of us, or all of us that have been in for a while, we do this because we love it and we're passionate about this.
Yeah, I mean, you get to your hobby as a job. I think that's sort of the perfect job, isn't it? If you can do your hobby and get paid to do it, then you are far more likely to put those hours in than if you're doing something you just hate.
Where did you go to school?
So I went to Hull University. It was the Scarborough campus of Hull University, and did creative music technology. They've moved that all onto the main Hull campus now, I believe. And
what did you learn? Did they have a console there and stuff?
I think there was a Control 24 in one of the rooms, and there was another desk, which may have been a Soundcraft, but I can't remember. But nothing like this. But we learnt the basics of Pro Tools and what a compressor is and what an EQ is. I mean, when I went to university, obviously there was stuff on the internet about recording, but it was very limited. I mean, I had an M-Box, which was pretty new at the time.
I remember the M-Box.
An M-Box 2, I think it was I had.
Flash.
Yeah. But yeah, there was not the wealth of information on the internet to learn recording. I mean, the first thing I ever had was a Tascam Porter Studio with a cassette, 4 channels on cassette, and I used to record with my friend playing guitar, and then bounce the 4 tracks down to 1, and then add more and more stuff until it sounded terrible.
So it ended up sounding like a bunch of hiss, probably.
Yeah, a lot of hiss and a lot of like tape that's been recorded over 20 times.
Yeah. I remember those days quite fondly, actually, because you get really into it. You're just like, oh my God, I'm bouncing tracks, I'm overdubbing.
Gave me a good grounding, and that sort of informed me as to what I wanted to do, I suppose.
So you run for a year, you're assisting for how many years?
I think it was probably around 5-6 years, and towards the end of that, engineering sessions when they needed an engineer, and then having to be the assistant when they didn't need an engineer. Right. Which is that's quite a hard thing to balance, I think, is to balance that thing of, I could do that job.
I think that's quite prevalent in the US, particularly in LA, where the assistant also can be the engineer, and they don't. Most of the studios that work out there don't really have full-time engineers as such. They have assistants that can engineer. But here you are chief engineer.
Yeah, I mean, I think we are probably one of the only studios who has full-time staff engineers. I think it is quite rare. We're in the lucky position to have that regular income from doing it. But it does help that we all know the rooms and we all know where everything is and what everything is. And it also helps in, you sort of have a love for the building and a love for the studio. And I don't think somewhere like Metropolis would survive if the people that worked here didn't love the building and love working here, because it's a big part of it. It's a lot to keep running, and you do put your whole life into keeping it running. What
was your musical journey? Who were the bands that you work with as you built your credits?
I mean, a lot of the assisting stuff and my early engineering stuff was with will.i.am, loves Metropolis. will.i.am's been coming here for a long time, so I did a lot of stuff with will.i.am. One of my actual first credits is on a Rihanna album, which I somehow got a Grammy for doing as well. When I'd probably only been assisting for a couple of years at that point, but I got put on a writing camp. Do you want to go and engineer this? So that early on, quite varied though, because I've also done opera, Placebo, Ball and Bow. I've done, so it's quite varied stuff, really.
Been a journey. What have you recently been working on that you're allowed to talk about?
Been working a lot with Ella Henderson, so I do a lot of vocal recording for her. Sometimes here, sometimes we just go to her house and do recording as well, which is nice to. It's nice sometimes to get out of the studio, although last time I was there it was the hottest day of the year and she does not have air conditioning in her studio. Concentrating quite a lot on mixing as well, so I mixed an EP for an artist called Drea on Ministry of Sound earlier this year. Do a lot of stuff for Chinese labels mixing as well.
Well, this has been an absolute blast being able to walk around the studio and take it all in. I came here early 90s. I feel like you guys have always been ahead of the curve. Like you've had more production suites before anybody else, but not in a compromised fashion. Like I see a lot of these studios that are built just to have production suites and they're just kind of these little horrible square boxes. Every room that we've been in has got personality and it's got a uniqueness and everything's at the same level. So this control room we're in here, the smaller rooms we've been in look like this too. And I feel like that is definitely that uncompromising kind of attitude is really super important. And the other little subtle things we were talking about was like, we went up to order some coffee. We wanted some soy milk in it. You guys went and got the soy milk. And we were working in another room and then somebody brings up the drinks. And these are the things that might seem small and petty, but they're what set aside professional studios from non-professional ones, where the client feels very looked after. Yeah. Because clients come to studios like this, to get away from the other parts of their life so they can just focus on their art. And I've always been impressed with how you handle that.
We're always trying to look at it more that we're a service industry. We're not.
Absolutely.
We're in the music industry and we all love music and we all love the recording side of it. But yeah, the studio is a service. And engineers and producers come here from around the world. They could go anywhere. So you have to provide the service. You have to do the coffees, the teas, the being able to get fruit in the middle of the night if someone wants a banana at 2 o'clock in the morning and there's not one in the building and you have to go and get one, and that's just part of it. That's what the client remembers, because they could record a vocal anywhere. In 2025 you can record a vocal in a hotel room and not have a problem, so you have to have a reason to come here, and that is part of it. And there's also the heritage and knowing who else has come here before, but making people feel welcome is the number one thing.
So when we were coming in, we talked about what you'd already told me. I don't know if there's anything else to embellish on it, but this was a power station for the next door building, which is now a bus station, but used to be a tram station. Yeah. Correct me if I'm wrong, you said it was only a power station for 4 years.
As far as I know, yeah, it was about 4 years it was a power station. And then they built a new power station, which is in Chelsea, I believe, and it's still the power station for the tube lines. So that we've replaced all this. And so it just sat empty, as far as I know, until the late 80s when they decided to turn it to a recording studio.
So the guys moved in 89?
Yeah, well, I didn't, because I was 2, but Metropolis opened in 1989, I believe, and then the mastering department opened a few years later. Some of the first clients were like George Michael, Queen. There's a good documentary called For Rockade, which was a thing for an earthquake in Armenia with Brian May and Richie Blackmore and loads of great people. Yeah. Adele. All the strings for Amy Winehouse's record were recorded in here. The Libertines recorded in here as well. That was done in here. There's some footage of them in Studio A, as well as the big names. We do have a lot of people who are making their first record, and some of them you never hear from ever again, and some of them they end up being the big stars. But it's a great place to work because of the variety as much as anything else. I mean, one of the most memorable is a Rihanna session where she did the vocal for Monster, the Eminem track. They didn't book the studio. And Coop Carell flew in from New York, came to reception and said, "I'm here for the Rihanna session." Oh, what Rihanna session? And no one from the label had booked it. Yeah, he turned up to do that, and then I ended up assisting and helping getting him set up on that. And then we didn't have the gear they wanted, so we had to hire everything. And she was on the way from Germany, I think. And she flew in, she came in went in the booth, sung the vocal like 4 or 5 times, and then left, and that was it. That's pretty memorable.
Luckily, there was a room available.
It was pretty mad that he'd been flown here as well. He wasn't in London. They'd flown him here to do it, and someone in the London office, who I assume is no longer in the London office, forgot to book a studio.